Arrow Video is known for resurrecting lost classics, long neglected films, cult favorites, European horror films, and occasionally the very mainstream Hollywood studio films of the last 30 or so years. And into this iconic canon of film releases comes their new 4K UHD release of Snakes on a Plane. Now, I saw Snakes on a Plane when it came out. I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it. It looked kind of dumb. I saw Snakes on a Plane. I saw it on when it hit video, and I thought it was a heck of a good time. I thought it was very funny, and it was a blast. I remember when it came out, there was all this hubbub, and it became this internet phenomenon, and people were laughing at it, not with it, and they were thinking, oh, I can't wait, I want to see Samuel L. Jackson versus Snakes on a Plane. Yes, you are. And I remember hearing about people who went to the local theater where I lived at the time, seeing it, and they came out and they were like, that was bad. That was dumb. And you're like, what did you think you were getting? It's Snakes on a Plane. It's in the title. This is a film that, and is pointed out in the commentary, which I'll get to in a moment. This film knows that it's funny. This film knows that it's an absurd concept. This film has fun with that. You're not smarter than Snakes on a Plane. Snakes on a Plane is smart. There's no reason to be derogatory about it, unless you just don't like the movie, which is totally cool. But to look down on it and be like, oh, that's Snakes on a Plane. Yeah, Snakes on a Plane knows what it is. It's funny. It's intentionally goofy. I love that it is mostly straight-faced funny, and it's very entertaining. When I got this Blu-ray to review, when I got this 4K UHD disc to review, I was like, not an era of film that I love, and we'll see how this goes, but I'll give it a shot. And boy, was it entertaining. This is directed by David R. Ellis with Samuel L. Jackson, Juliana Marguiles, Kenan Thompson, Lynn Shay, David Koechner, Nathan Phillips, and other familiar faces, and presented with English SDH subtitles. And the basic story goes a little something. I'm not going to tell you the whole story. Pretty much am in giving you the concept because there's not much more beyond that. So, young guy witnesses a drug deal or transaction gone bad in Hawaii and flees and is taken into FBI custody to try to testify against this crime lord in Hawaii. Sam Jackson is the FBI agent who is assigned to protect him on the plane back to the mainland, back to LA. And the bad guy knows that this young guy is going to take him down with his testimony. So he basically comes up with an idea to take out the witness. Is it shooting the witness? No. Is it strangling the witness? No. Is it poisoning the witness? Nope. It's taking crates of venomous snakes and putting them in the cargo hold of the plane that the witness happens to be on, full plane with a bunch of other people, and having these timed pheromones in crates in front of the snakes go off when the plane is in flight, and these pheromones are going to cause the snakes to just go crazy and want to attack everybody and become very aggressive. It's a very complicated way to take somebody out, but that's the story of the film. I'm not going to tell you more than that because that's the story of the film. So then it becomes, my favorite tagline, who will survive and what will be left of them? It's actually a really good thriller. It's an absurd concept, and yes, a lot of the snakes are CGI, though it wasn't as bad as I remembered it being or thought it was going to be. You watch the extras, and there really were a lot of actual snakes there, but for the most part, it's CGI snakes. But it doesn't rely an insane amount on that. There is a lot of human interaction, which is really good. For the most part, it's played straight. There are some comedic characters, but people like Lynn Shay, they're straight ahead and serious. Jackson takes this movie seriously. Marguiles takes this film seriously. Some of the other ones don't. Kenan Thompson actually, obviously, is there for comedic effect, and he is very funny as like one of two friends slash right-hand men, bodyguards, whatever, for like a popular rapper or smooth R&B guy who is played for laughs. He plays it more or less straight, but he's very funny as this very arrogant, very smooth-talking guy. And it's just the typical plane disaster movie in terms of all walks of life on the plane, all kinds of character types on the plane, and how do they react when venomous snakes are trying to kill them all. So very, for what it is, well-made film. Shot entirely in Canada, which I was surprised because some of the accents, I'm like, okay, this was north of the border. But then occasionally it's like they're in the jungle at the beginning. I'm like, certainly they went to Hawaii or somewhere for that. It's like, no, that was somewhere in Toronto they shot that. Well made. not egregious in the shaky cam garbage that would really kind of ruin thriller films for not long after this. Started around this time, not long after this. And it's just fun. It's a fun movie to watch with friends. The thriller aspect of it works really well. The comedic aspects work very well. It is gratuitous in every way you want it to be for an R-rated thriller film. And it's a lot of fun. It's laugh out loud sometimes. So the extras on this. Oh, sorry, noticed my notes here, which I generally try not to work from. But what I have here is the CGI snakes are what they are, but they're mostly quick and often in the shadows. And the editing and sound effects really help sell the insane snakeitude of the film. The cheesiest thing in the whole movie really is the music video that plays during the end credits of this. You get the end credits and it plays in full off to the side. And in the extras, you can see it full screen, full resolution. It's a video about snakes on a plane with a band playing straight to the camera. And I mean, clearly they're having fun, but they're playing straight to the camera about snakes being on a plane and they're in an airport and Sam Jackson makes a cameo and all that. So special features. This was one of those discs that New Line put out. I want to say they were the New Line Platinum series or Platinum collection that were really loaded discs on DVD in the DVD era. Era was putting a lot of that stuff out now, and they're basically porting over all of those original extras that were all pretty much created around the time the film was made or immediately after it was made, and then adding new features to that. So if you are a big fan of Snakes on a Plane and you're like, I don't want to throw my old DVD away, you don't have to, but you really can because it's all on here looking as good, if not better, than the DVD. So, special features. There's a new commentary by Max Every and Brian Reisman, who are both film journalists, and I love that they start this commentary by saying, look, we're not going to mock a film that's a comedy. We're not going to riff tracks this thing. We're not going to make fun of this movie. The movie knows what it is. We are going to take a serious look at this film. We're going to have fun, but we're going to take a serious look about this film and its production and its reception and how it all came to be. And it's a really good commentary track. Whenever I see a track that are like, fans of the film, I get a little nervous that it's just like two people verbally just screwing off. And this is not that at all. This is really good. You get an archival commentary by cast and crew. That's more people screwing off. With director David R. Ellis, Samuel L. Jackson, producer Craig Berenson, associate producer Tawny Ellis, who's the daughter of the director, visual effects supervisor Eric Henry, and second unit director Freddie Heiss. That is one of those that feels like a lot of friends hanging out. And I've said in other commentary and other reviews, sometimes that feels like a party you were invited to where you don't know anybody and you're just like, I'm glad you all find each other funny and your little in-jokes are cracking you guys up, but I don't really feel like I'm a part of this. This is not one of those. This does feel cool. Sam Jackson is just like off the chain, making all kinds of comments and sometimes crude comments. And there is some non-PC comments in here and there, but it's all in fun. And it is an entertaining listen. But this is clearly something that was recorded after the film wrapped, but before it came out. And then you get Snaked on a Page, which is a new mini documentary that explores the phenomenon of movie tie-in novelizations. This is fascinating, featuring publisher Mark Miller, historian David Spencer, and Krista Faust, author of the Snakes on a Plane adaptation. There is the Blue Underground 4K disc of Dead and Buried from 1981 has an extra like this on here, which I loved, where you talk to somebody who writes novelizations, and those used to be a big thing, the movie tie-in. I probably have one. I've got a Cannonball Run tie-in which I could reach over and grab if I wanted to. Those tie-ins at the time were mostly popular in a world when you couldn't just immediately rewatch the film. It was a way to re-experience the film as a kid. It was like a souvenir of the film before home video or before you knew you were going to be able to see it again anytime soon. You could reach for the book. And as a kid, I loved it because it really fleshed out the film that you were reading about. It was... Sometimes they had the original shooting script, and these would be written before the films came out, so it would include things that wound up getting cut out of the film or things that got changed, or it would just create more. It was like, I always say, movies you love, you want to keep watching, and you always want to see something new in them, or you want to watch it, and you love it so much, you want to be able to look around the corner. You want to see what's just in and out of frame on the edges. You want to know what they did just before they walked into that shot, and movie tie-ins do that. So this delves into that as a format, as a milieu, but also specifically how this author turned Snakes on a Plane into a book and it's really entertaining and really cool, and that's 18 minutes. Pure Venom, archival featurette on the making of the film, featuring interviews with cast and crew. That's 18 minutes. This is anything archival came from the previous New Line DVD. Meet the Reptiles, archival featurette on the work of the snake handler Jules Sylvester and the various snakes featured in the film. So there were real snakes. This shows you 13 minutes. VFX, archival featurette on the use of CGI to bring the animals to life. That is 5 minutes. Snakes on a Blog. This is very much of its time. Archival featurette on the online hype surrounding the film prior to its release and how the studio utilized that and basically invited these bloggers who were blowing up this film to the premiere. That's 10 minutes. Music video as seen during the end credits, but it's full quality and full screen. That's 3 minutes. Snakes on a Video, archival featurette on the making of that music video. A gag reel that's 5 minutes and very amusing. Deleted and extended scenes with optional archival commentary by director David R. Ellis, associate producer Tawny Ellis, and producer Craig Berenson. That's 12 minutes. Trailers. You get a 1-minute teaser trailer. You get a 1.5-minute Unleashed trailer, and you get a 1-minute Phobia trailer, all of which use things that were very common and contemporary and hip and cool in terms of editing and voiceover and graphic style, which I find now, they choke me up, I find now pretty cheesy. 5 TV spots that run 3 minutes total, and those are all 4x3 letterbox, and a 39 image gallery that is Snakes on a Plane. I recommend it. If you've never seen it, give it a shot. Go into it knowing this movie is fun. You may like it as much as I do. Snakes on a Plane on 4K UHD from Arrow Video. And yes, they do get those snakes off that plane.